listening to ComedySlamRadio.com. From our studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So pop some popcorn, grab a smooch buddy, and settle in for another fine show from ComedySlamRadio.com.
All right. The soft voice of Sean Purvis there. All right, can you hear me clear? Is this good? Is this good? Yes, yes. My name is Dave Celestian, and we are live here with the one and only Steve Miller.
Not the one and only, the other Steve Miller.
Well, yeah, there's actually a bunch of them. I know another one, too.
Exactly. I love that intro music, though. It makes me, I don't know if we're going to talk about comedy or get pregnant.
that one there? Yeah, I know. Where's the champagne?
It really relaxes me and puts me in the mood.
This is the first one. This is the big one. We're either going to sink or swim here. There's a lot of people watching, I'm sure. Millions. This is big.
Yeah, I'm going glass half full on this. There may be as many as 10 or 15 people watching right now. You don't know.
Crazy. I'm nervous. I'm freaking out.
First time on stage?
Yeah, this is it. This is the first time I've ever done this. You ever heard that?
Never. Just when it's lied to.
Is there anybody actually, I mean, everybody's watching football right now, so you think anybody's actually watching Comedy Slam Radio instead of football?
I don't know. The Patriots were handling mightily
Yeah, that's over with.
the Texans, so
That's over with.
it's time for them to turn that off. But I think our big competition is The Simpsons.
Mm.
You know, I mean, when you're looking for humor, you either come to Comedy Slam Radio and look at
Or
you
the
and I,
Simpsons.
or go to The Simpsons.
God, how long have they been going for now?
That's the longest running series, right? The longest running primetime series.
25 years?
Nah, not that long. I think it was around 20.
I got burned out of it, you know? Kind of, I got a little tired of it.
I just started going back to The Simpsons this year. It's sad. It's like
It's changed.
yeah, it's like when Michael Jordan came out of retirement and you start watching him play again. You're like, you're still there, but you're not Jordan, Jordan of old.
No, it's not. It's like watching Saturday Night Live now compared to 20 years ago. It's just, you know.
This year there's been some solid. See, I have this argument with people all the time. I like SNL. They obviously have their ups and downs. You're never going to top the irreverence of the first couple seasons.
Right.
They were rock stars. They were cokeheads. They had the best bands on there, and they were cutting edge. And now there's so many corporate dollars, it'll never be the same. But I still think they have their moments of being funny. And the fact that they're doing an hour and a half of new comedy every week is impressive.
I don't even know who's on it. Who's on it?
Well, you got that guy with the face. Then you got Jay Farrow, he's 25-year-old younger guy. His impressions, his Denzel Washington is ridiculous.
Is it?
It's funny as hell. He's great. I believe Bill Hader's still on it. He's hysterical. There's still a couple
John
cats in there.
John Belushi still on it?
They replaced him with Jim. They replaced him with Jim.
Jim
They went with the
Belushi?
better brother.
The one that's alive? He's better because he's alive.
The more talented brother. The big thing for me, like a year ago, I got the SNL box set the first season.
Mhm.
I started going through and watching them. There was no set format. Like the episode with Paul Simon. Paul Simon does 3 or 4 songs. He's in all the sketches. There was no, sketch, musical guest, sketch, musical guest, then wrap it up. There seemed to be a lot more free-flowing.
Mhm.
They seemed to take a lot more chances. And some of the bands they had, like they had Tom Waits on in the second season. Exactly, yeah. Budweiser proudly presents
Sting!
Smash Mouth.
Unreal.
It's like there was a sense of danger or something to it to the first season.
So why, tell people why we're doing comedy. Why even doing this comedy thing?
Well, when you
The
put
comedy venture. Why are you trying to be a comedian? What do you, what's your goal here? Why are you doing that instead of, just get a nice job, make money?
when you put it like that, I feel like my dad's yelling at me. I feel like every conversation I've had with my father.
Son, why comedy?
Why not a real job? Why comedy? I think comedy can be a real job, but I know what you're saying. I'm just being difficult and I'm being a contrarian.
You know what I
But
mean?
yeah, comedy was the one thing that I thought that I was actually talented at. I thought that I was gifted. I thought that I was funny.
When did you first hear somebody say, "You're really funny"?
For as long as I can remember.
Really?
As long as I can remember, it's been the thing that has gotten me out of trouble. It has been the thing that's endeared me to people. When I was younger, about 11 years old, my older brother is 3 years older than me. So he's 13 or 14, whatever. We had flash paper from a magic shop, which I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's about the size of a business card, but you can light it on fire. You throw it, it makes this fireball.
Okay. Yeah.
So my brother and I sneak into my parents' room. We wake them up in the middle of the night, and we start throwing this flash paper on them. we're wearing my dad's trench coats. We're not like, to us it's funny because we're waking them up and there's fire. From their point of view, they thought there were shotgun muzzles going off.
Nice.
And so they came downstairs, were yelling at us, "You guys are grounded for the rest of your lives," type speech. But in the morning when they woke up, they said, "Okay, look, it was funny, so you're not grounded, but never do it again." And it was the first, like,
How
as
old were you then?
I was about 11 or 12.
Okay.
Like, I made that connection where it's like, okay, well, my parents, like, I got out of that shitty thing I did to them because it was funny.
Funny. Yeah. I used to make my cousins laugh when I was like 5 years old, 6. They were like 6, 7, and 8 girl cousins, and they were cute, you know. So I would make them laugh, just make them laugh all the time. So
Right.
it started then. Basically, it started because of women, I guess, because of my cousins. you know?
And we continue doing so much because of women.
Yeah, we're kicking ass. Can we say ass on the radio? Well, we can beep that out later.
I've been cursing. I'm assuming that we can curse.
People have told me in elementary school and in middle school, high school, my whole life, and I actually did stand up when I was 15. The teacher had me go up with 2 other guys and imitate him in class when I was 15. It was geometry class.
What led him to ask you to do that?
Because I used to do it all the time when he was teaching. I used to be like, now look, Mr. Celestin, your seat is number 13. And he goes, I'm going to write you up for open defiance. I said, what about closed defiance? And just totally getting written up all the time. So
Sure.
then at the last day of class, he had us go up and imitate him. And I was so embarrassed and shy when I went up. My face turned beet red, and I started coughing like I couldn't breathe, like I was coughing on accident. And I was freaking out. And then that lasted probably, I mean, it seemed like a minute, but it was probably like 4 seconds. You know?
Right.
And then I got my wits, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just do this. And
Yeah.
then I went into character, pretending I was him. I was writing on the overhead where they had the old, where you write on the overhead and roll it, you know?
Right. Sure.
And he used to write with one of those wet erase markers. It was like a black wet erase marker. And like, if you make a mistake, you're supposed to wipe it with a wet cloth. He would like lick his thumb and he'd wipe it, and he'd lick his thumb a few more times. And then he'd have like a blue tongue, and then he'd touch his face in accident and have blue. So I had like blue all over the side of my face. My tongue was blue, and he was cracking up. He was an old colonel in the army. So it was pretty cool getting the old colonel to laugh.
Oh, that's huge. Get an old army officer like that to laugh at himself. But see, that's good. You committed to the role.
I did.
You didn't half-ass it. Like, if you had gone up there and were like, just,
No, I killed
didn't
it.
play it full, you killed it.
I killed it.
You can't deny it.
And I should have understood at that point that I could be a comedian back when I was 15. And I didn't even think about doing this for a living. It didn't even cross my mind that I should pursue it. I went back to my thought process of go get your high school diploma and then go to college. You got to get a degree in engineering because you're good in math and science. And I didn't even think that way. I wasn't even thinking at all. There's no thought in my mind. And I wish I did. 15 is the perfect age to start.
That's a great age to start. It's very bizarre because it's, for me, I'm 37. I started comedy, seriously committed 3 years ago to getting up as much as I could and to really forcing it and trying to generate income doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. When you're 16, 17, when that age, and you start thinking to yourself, I'm funny, this is how I define myself, I believe I'm a funny person, and people start telling you, as I'm sure they told you, oh, you should go do stand-up. You should go do stand-up. For me, and we talked about this a little before the show, that was the one thing that I didn't want to give up about myself. Like, if I go and try stand-up and I'm not good at it, then my one gift that I think is not real. That's not a gift.
Yeah. It's scary. I mean, it's scary doing it too, standing in front of all these people and having to be funny. You know, I think it's the hardest thing I've ever tried to do in my life. Getting a degree in engineering, that's easy. Study, take a class, get A's, B's, C's, pass, you get a degree, you get a job.
There's a definite track set up for people of average or above average intelligence that'll allow them to have a semi-comfortable life in this country if they do the right thing, if they make the next move. There's a plan, but what happens is when people follow that, go through it, they wind up at a point where it's like, well, I've done all these things. Now I'm in a job that I don't really like, and this is the rest of my life.
That's it. And they're locked in. They're 35 years old. They got 3 kids, and their wife doesn't work. And then that's it. They have to go to work every day. They have to.
Yeah, that's the trap of that lifestyle is when you start acquiring these things and start having this stuff. When your mortgage payment is a certain amount of money, you can't just back away from the job. You can't walk away and say, "Well, I'm going to give up. I'm going to move on to something else now." If you have a few kids and a wife, you have obligations, societal and moral obligations to, well, look, I brought these 3 kids into the world. They're not necessarily going to come along with me for this ride of comedy where we're all going
I
to.
would just get a nice beefed up life insurance policy, wait about 6 months, drive to Skyway, and that's it. Walk off, wear a nice business suit, briefcase. That's it. How can you do that every day, every single day, just sucking the life out of you for you only got to do it till you're 65. It's only 40 years.
That's 65 now, but that number's changing.
It's going to be like
sure.
75. Yeah. When
Yeah.
we're older, it'll be like 75 or 80. There's no way.
And even though one of my big fears in life is I don't want to be 75 years old bagging groceries at Publix to pay for my medication. Like if I just get bored and I'm like, hey, I like bagging groceries, I'll go do that. Fine, whatever. But if I have to work at 75, like that horrifies me.
Oh, brutal.
It really scares the hell out of me. But by the same token, I don't want to be 55 sitting there going, oh, what if? What if?
Yeah.
You know, the what ifs I think are more painful than anything that'll happen. Plus, I mean, me making it to 75 is a long shot.
How old do you think you're going to be? What do you think you're going to live to?
Most of my family are pretty healthy, and genetically speaking, I should be fine into 65, 70. But I'm heavy.
How much do you weigh?
I'm 280.
You're 280?
I'm 280.
I was going to say like 240.
No, I stash at places, man.
You must have those shorts filled out. He's got these huge like cargo shorts on right now, and I thought they were like big and baggy, but I think his legs fill the whole thing out, like a tent down there.
Exactly.
It's huge.
Exactly. No, it's nuts, man. And my little sister's a yoga instructor and a health food teacher. Like she's committed. She travels the world rock climbing. My dad is borderline vegetarian.
We should get this guy on like a weight loss thing, and you see the first day. This is day one right here, 280. Because I'm 170, and I'm like a workout machine. I'm gonna get this guy down to 170.
Well,
Watch this. He won't be funny anymore either. He'll be just like me, thinking about how he's gonna get laid. I'm thinking about.
I'll have to rewrite half my act. No, I've been like it's crazy because I'm back and forth. Obviously, my big thing is I don't care about being the size that I am. I don't want to die at 55. I don't want to die at 50. I don't. You know what I mean? Like these are real possibilities. So I quit smoking years ago, and that was a big one. And then when I moved home from New York, and I quit smoking at the same time I moved home from New York, and I was driving everywhere and getting back into being in Tampa, I put on a lot of weight at that point, probably under 40, 50 pounds or so at that point. So I started again a couple of months ago, watching what I eat, looking at the calories and doing all that stuff. And I've been back to the gym.
Oh, you went back to the gym,
man, for the past few weeks now. So
okay.
I'm trying, man. We'll see. Hopefully it'll take, because this is ridiculous.
He's not as big as he looks, guys. Like if I look at him on
it's terrible. This shot is.
You look like a tablecloth on it.
I'm not even like, I looked at it when it first came up on the screen and I was horrified.
You're like,
horrified. It's like a beanbag with a head.
It looks like a tablecloth with a head on it.
Exactly. And look at you. You look tiny.
I know. You can't even see me here. It's all
I don't know
him.
what's happening
This is
here.
my show. It's all him. Look at him. He's taking over with his mass. Every time he eats, I get pushed out of the camera like this. All right. So anyways, we got the
Sooner or later, I will absorb you into myself.
I know, right? He's just going to eat me one day. What do you weigh? I'm 450. Just add 170 on to whatever you're now.
I was 280, and then I threw another 170 on there. I did a radio
450
show.
pounds.
I did a radio show.
How did it go? Well, I ate the host. I don't know. It just got weird.
Oh, it's crazy. Somebody posted a picture of me from when I was 15 on they posted it on Facebook.
Were you skinny then?
I was skinny as hell.
Were you?
It was just like, this was like 20 years of serious commitment of not doing anything.
Well, how much did you weigh when you were like 20?
When I was
Were
20,
you skinny? I mean, where did it start?
It started probably about 17 or 18. Like I played basketball all through like junior high school.
So
and
you
high
were skinny
school.
when you were 17.
Yeah, I was thin when I was 17, and when I was like 15, I was like, my parents used to be concerned that I was too thin.
Oh, she's like, finish everything in your plate.
A wind's gonna come along and blow you into the gutter.
You're like, how about now, Mom?
Yeah, you proud of me? Look what you
Look at
did
this.
to me, Mom.
You had a category 5. I stood here the whole time. Category 5, didn't even move.
I'm always safe from it.
Oh gosh, the topic turns to your weight. Real nice.
It always does.
It
It's the
is,
start of the
man.
year, though, man. It's resolutions and all that stuff.
Can't pick on that though, man. That's bad. You don't watch TV, do you? The Walking Dead. I've been watching The Walking Dead.
I haven't. I watched the first season. I rented it on Redbox because I'm poor, so that's how I get my entertainment.
Okay. We watch it. We got that Roku thing, the little Roku box, so you can watch Netflix on your computer or on your TV.
How's that work? How's that work?
$50. Perfect.
And then you don't pay any more than the $50. It's like a monthly fee.
$50. That's it. No, it's 50. There's no monthly.
How much is it again?
50.
All right.
Did I say 50?
I want to see if we can get it. I want to see if I can get you to say it a fourth time. That's all. I was
Oh,
just
you want me to
curious.
say 50 the fourth time? There it is. You
All
happy?
right, there we
it
go.
is. Let's talk about your weight again. Can you say 350? Oh boy.
Could you
Oh.
bench press me, you workout machine?
Hell no. No way. I've
Uh.
never benched that much in my life. Could you do one push-up?
I probably could get away with one. Not military, not diamond. I
It's
could
hard
do
though,
a
right?
dime one. Yeah, I struggle with
Because
it.
that's like me putting 100 pounds on my. Wow. Jeez.
A buddy of mine runs regularly, and he does one of these. I don't know where it is in the area, but you run. There's an obstacle there, so you'll stop and do pull-ups.
Oh, the
Then
warrior
we'll do that.
dash.
Yeah, like that's not a warrior dash, but just whatever. Like along Bayshore, they have workout equipment.
Mm.
Like he'll do that sort of thing. He's like, "Come with me, man," because he knows I'm going back to. I'm like, Dean, I can't do a. He's like, "Well, we run a half mile, then we do 10 pull-ups. Then we run a half mile, then we do
do a
10." I'm like,
pull-up.
I can't do a pull-up, man.
Yeah.
Like, let me get like. My roommate wanted me to go rock climbing. I'm like, give me 6 months. If I'm good and I go to the gym and I watch what I eat and I get enough weight up because my sister's a big rock climber, I'm like, maybe then I could get to where I could start doing that stuff. But right now, I'm like, I'm not going into public to look like an asshole.
Mhm.
I did open mics already.
You know what you should do? You
I've
should
gone
just-
to open mics to make myself look like an
You
asshole.
should
in
just
public.
lock yourself in a room with nothing but water and like lemons or something. Just lock yourself in and tell everybody, "Don't let me out for 6 months, no matter what."
It's not that bad, man. I mean, let me try. Let me try to do it before I put myself on lockdown, man.
The zone diet is good. You ever heard of the zone diet?
I've heard of it. I did South Beach. I lost a bunch of weight on South Beach. Drinking, I love drinking beer. Like I brew my own beer. I love drinking
I
beer.
love beer,
I love
too.
craft beer. And it's just my thing is like I'll have 4 or 5 beers, and then I'll wind up having, if I don't stop at
Oh,
the
then
4 or
you eat
5,
burgers
then
and-
exactly. Then it's
Yeah.
all over. Then the next day I'm hungover, and I'm like, well, I don't feel good because I'm hungover. I need comfort food. I need biscuits and gravy for breakfast.
You know what you got to do? You're 37 right now. Just blow up in comedy over the next 5 years and go out in a ball of flames at like 48. Just go nuts.
This is your plan for me?
This is it, dude. Go out like Jim Morrison. Just 10 more years. Just blow it up. I'll be your manager. I'll figure out how to make some money off you. And just blow it up.
So create a large back catalog
Just
that
get bigger, dude.
after I stroke out, then you
Eat
can
even more. Just get bigger. Get huge, and you're gonna be. The fatter you get, the funnier you get. You know, I'm skinny. I'm not funny.
We'll look at Horatio Sands. The guy got skinny. I haven't heard from him at all.
Who's that? Horatio.
He was on SNL.
Okay, he got skinny,
He got thin.
and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. I think you got to get.
But Jonah
bigger.
Hill got thin, and he's working more now.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's working solid.
It's all in the attitude.
I don't know. I just it's got, the madness has to end, because the next step for me, is seat extensions on the
airplane?
plane, and I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
I can't have
Do
that.
they have seat extensions?
Yeah, for like seat belts, not seat belts.
Oh, I thought they actually
Sorry, not
put in,
seats.
brought in
No,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
wider
yeah.
seat. Or,
No, you're not
We're
going to
gonna-
make it.
we're gonna take out you guys. Stan, can you take out A, B, C, D, and E and put in that lounge, the wide sofa?
We got a pallet jack coming in.
You could just have a sofa for the aisle. Just have a sofa. You just sit there.
When the last time I saw my doctor, he was like, we were talking, and of course the first thing is always weight.
God, he's got to look and go.
Well, the crazy thing is he is the doctor for the Bucks. He just happens to also have a practice, so he's seeing like world-class athletes
Oh yeah.
and me. So he works on Ferraris and then a Ford Fiesta.
Well, I don't know if you're a Ford Fiesta. I would say like an old Mack truck. A Ford Fiesta.
But he
Oh,
was like,
God.
he's like, hey, when you first came to me, when you first started cutting me, you were 250. He's like, now you're 280. He's like, you got to be real careful. You're on your way to becoming that guy. You don't want to
Yeah.
be that guy.
Yeah.
And that, when he talked to me, when he put it like that, it was the first time where I was like, I don't.
You're
I
20
really
pounds
don't
for
wanna be
300,
that
dude.
guy. Yeah,
The scales don't work after that.
yeah, that's it. It's all over.
I'm not laughing at you though. I mean, I know it's.
I don't
like,
think you are. I
it's-
brought her up. I talk about her on stage.
I think you're probably like bigger bone too. Like your wrists are probably bigger, right?
No,
Are you?
I'm very dainty.
Oh wow, there's small wrists, guys. Forget that. Throw that out. I was trying to give him some
I
credit.
know you're trying to give me a lifeline.
He's got wrists like a squirrel. Jesus.
my bones are adamantium, similar to
Jeez.
Wolverine's. So
Holy
that's why I'm
smokes.
so heavy.
Unbelievable.
So we'll see. Well, that's the goal this year. The goal this year, comedy wise, is festivals. Trying to book, trying to get in front of some more bookers and stay on the road more, and then also get my health together.
How did you get your first booking like at a show? What did you do? You just know somebody or is it?
My first paid gig was for Side Splitters in North Tampa,
Mm.
and they had me. Like they started. I started opening micing with them, and then other places as well, of course. But I started with them, and then they had me host their open mics. I did that for a while, and then they had me host in the main room.
Okay, so you worked your way up to the. I
Worked
got
my
it.
way up, man. They
Uh-huh.
couldn't have been any better to me. They've been great to me.
So you hosted the main room, and is that what you've done there so far?
Yeah, I featured for them a few times.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who did you? Anybody big that you opened for? or
I
was it just-
featured most recently for Mike Winfield, who was
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
yeah,
Big afro.
that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. And I mean that last time he was through recently, but time for that. And then I've featured a few 6 p.m. Saturday shows for a couple random different people. But that was the first week they gave me. Oh, I featured in Knoxville at Side Splitters in Knoxville for
Oh.
Mike Baldwin.
Does Mark Craycraft still work there?
I don't believe so.
No. He was working down here when I left, but then he moved to Knoxville. So no Mark.
It's possible. I mean, I believe I would remember his
I got to
name.
work my way through the ranks again at Side Splitters because I kind of messed up the other night. I probably did what you're not supposed to do and started ripping on the club, their pricing, and things like that. And I was basically trying to show the other open micers what not to do, but they missed that part when I just thought that in my brain. I didn't say it, but it
Oh,
ended.
interesting.
Yeah, it ended bad. It was just not good. It was not what not to do.
What were you saying?
Well, the crowd was flat, and I started getting angry, which happens sometimes, and frustrated. Then it turned to angry, and then people started saying stuff like, heckling, and I had to attack them a little bit, but not crazy. And then, and I said, "What do you guys expect? It's a free show." I said that. And they're like, "No." I said, "You didn't pay," and they said, "Yeah, we did." And then it turned into, I said, "You paid to see an open mic," and it kind of escalated,
I got you.
I'm like, "You paid and that's all it was, and it was my mistake, and I understand it." And I said, "I'm sorry" to the manager there, and
Yeah, Brian's a good guy, man.
he is a good guy. I know he is, and I just kind of messed up, and I'll come back there in about 5 to 7 years and try to patch things up again. See if I can try to get up on a stage and get paid for once at a comedy club, because I don't get paid at comedy clubs. I do corporate and private stuff. I'm a stripper, and I do comedy.
Solid. So,
Yeah,
so
tight.
comedy across the board for you.
Yeah, no joke. That's it. Yeah, just comedy.
Now let me ask you this: like you said, when you went to the open mic, because this is something that I've been struggling with lately. Like when you went to the open mic at Side Splitters, the crowd was flat, and it started bothering you.
The
Like,
crowd was flat. Yeah, they were watching comedy for 2 hours at that point.
Yeah,
so-
it's tough. It's
hours.
not easy for an audience to sit through that much. But as a performer now, because you've been doing this what 7 years? You said
7 years. Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah.
The past few months, when I go to open mics, which I don't do enough of, I try to remember that I'm there for myself and not the audience,
Mm.
and that I'm there to get comfortable with the new material that I've written and just to say it out loud.
Yep.
Or just to take that premise, like my father's retirement and how he's changed, and try to craft that story in an
Mhm.
open mic.
Yeah.
So we met at the Pegasus Lounge, the open mic
Ooh,
last Tuesday.
Smoke pit.
Yeah,
I smoked a pack of cigarettes that
Yeah.
night. I don't even smoke.
It will help remind me of why I quit.
Oh,
But I try to remind myself that I'm there for myself to figure it out, and not because I used to get so down the first couple years. I'd be like, "Oh man,"
because of the crowd.
yeah, because they wouldn't laugh, and I'm like, "I'm not very good at this."
Yeah.
And then I would like when Side Splitters started having me host, I would go into an actual club room, Side Splitters, be in front of a comedy audience that was ready to laugh, that was focused,
Oh yeah.
and I would tell the same joke that bombed the week before at the open mic, and I'm not saying it would kill, but it would get laughs, and I'd be like, wait a second. So then I went through this phase where I'm like, I'm not going to open mics. I'm not going
Yeah.
to do it because
Yeah.
there's no point. But then now I'm in a phase where it's like, I can't judge how funny it is. I just need to get comfortable with it and find where I think it's funny, and then try it in front of an audience.
Saying it out loud.
Yeah.
I got a new setup I'm going to do in my car. I actually have a microphone that plugs into my stereo of my car, and I can say the bits through the stereo when I'm driving and hear it.
So texting and driving isn't dangerous enough. Now you
Well,
have a
I text.
microphone.
Yeah, I'm
You have a
texting too.
microphone in your hand.
I'm texting too. Yeah, I have a microphone in my hand. I'm texting. Sometimes drinking something non-alcoholic. And by the way, I'm driving. I drive too. Yeah.
Will you do crowd work?
New York City mics definitely will help solve your little problem that you're talking about.
No, I mean while you're driving in the car.
Oh, I do crowd work?
What?
Hey, slow it down! Yelling at people and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I've never done any open mics in New York. What's your take?
That's what. Well, they definitely teach you. They teach you to not pay attention to the crowd because nobody's listening at any of the mics and they all hate you. You know, they just. I was doing. I'm known as like the renegade comedian up there because I was doing open mics in Central Park. I did them in the subways. I did them in the Times Square. I did them in all these different places outside. I'd bring my own sound system and set up, and because I was doing open mics, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. These comedians aren't watching. They're not laughing. They're not responding. And I'm like, the comedy clubs won't let you in there. So I'm just going to bring the show to the people. So I just went outside and did it.
How did that go?
It's good. It's good training. It's good practice because it teaches you to be in the moment because there's people coming home from work, and you're doing comedy. So you got to be right there,
Right.
interacting in the moment. So it's,
How was the feedback?
well, I got one guy threw a beer bottle at me.
Nice,
Out
solid.
at, that was out at the amphitheater in Central Park. He was just some homeless, crazy guy. And he just got angry and threw a beer bottle.
Did you find that people would stop and listen to you?
People stopped and listened. Yes, there was usually between 2 to 15 people stopping and listening at any time I was doing it.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
For
So,
a
and the better you
city,
do, the
yeah.
more you get stopped. So it was at one point I had a lot of people stopped and I got nervous because there was just a lot of people stopped looking,
Right.
and they were watching, and I was like, the pressure was on. And I was running out of stuff,
Right.
because I'd go up for. We did it one time for 4 hours. My buddy and
Oh,
I.
shut up. Are you serious?
We did 4 hours out there. We go back and forth, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. We got $100 in tips. Some guy came up and gave us $20. Other people give us money.
Really?
We weren't even trying to get money. They were just throwing it down the ground
That's
just
solid,
to help us
man.
out. Yeah. So it was. I got stopped 10 times by the cops. The cops told me 10 times that you can't do this with amplified sound, and every single time I just played stupid. And I think the
That's-
same cop
yeah.
busted me like twice.
That's the best way to do it, though. You got to ask for forgiveness, not for permission, right?
Yeah, well, you're supposed to get a permit, but I did it one time. I got a permit, and it took like 6 weeks to get it. I'm like, it's not going to work. It's taken forever. It costs $100 to get a permit for a day or a weekend. Let's just go different spots and do it.
Oh, I like the idea of like that's real renegade stuff.
Yeah,
because that's really the drive and determination I think you need to have.
yeah. It's very good training because it teaches you to be raw and in the moment and real, and it's not in some little sheltered. Because a lot of comedians are actually afraid. They're very introverted people, and they go to these open mics, and people think they're brave for doing it, but they go to the same mics with the same group of people, and they hang out with the same packs, and they're not growing. You got to go out to these
Absolutely.
difficult places. Like I did an all black club in St. Louis. I did 13 sets there. I opened for these different comedians down there, and I did 13 spots, and it was like 200.
So you work clubs, then you say you don't work clubs.
Yeah, I was doing guest spots. I don't think I've ever featured at a club, but I've done a little here and there,
Right.
But it was eye opening doing all black. It was all black audience watching, so it was a different type of humor. You got to be real. You got to
Sure.
be totally real there.
Well, I've never done a quote urban room,
Urban room.
which
Yeah.
is sort of an annoying phrase, anyways.
Am I not supposed to say all black?
No,
Is
no.
that-
I don't. I
okay.
think that's fine. That's
I'm always
they're,
breaking rules. I'm afraid I'm gonna get yelled
no,
at by
no,
you
no.
now, like by the
No. I
manager.
don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think urban just makes me laugh. Like there's no white.
So you've
people
never
in the-
done?
I've never done it. I've never done an all black room. No.
No.
And I've heard, like, I was listening to Bill Burr talk about this to reference another comedian, but he was talking about how that scared him, made him nervous. So he went and did it
Yeah.
because he had more bravery in comedy than he had in his real life. And he
Yeah.
talked about how the exact concept that you're talking about, where if you stay insular and stay insulated, you're never going to know if you're truly funny. I think a great comedian can be funny in an urban room. They can be funny in a suburban comedy club.
They
They can be
adapt.
funny anywhere.
Yeah, you adapt. That's all you do. You adapt. There was the black room I did down there, the urban room. One of the shows I did, I was doing my set, and it got real quiet, and I couldn't think what I was going to say, and I tried to speak, and I couldn't speak. Like I couldn't speak English. I tried to. I was like, my brain like just froze, and I was like, I couldn't speak. I was so
Really?
afraid, and I could not speak. And I stopped for a second, and I like took a deep breath. And the only thing that got me speaking again was I looked at my beer and I said, "Drink beer, everybody, drink beer. Just let's all have a drink." And then I got back to speaking again.
Whatever it takes to get you going, man. Whatever it takes.
Talk about bottoming out. I think that was the bottom of the rung for me with how bombing. I think
Sure.
that was the bottom of the rung right there. Not be able to speak
Well,
English
not being
anymore.
able to speak English will do it, man.
That was it was brutal.
That'll absolutely.
But then
do
they
it.
all clapped. They love it. They said, "You were real. That was real." They loved the realness. I'm like, I was crying up there. What are you talking about? It was real.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, it was brutal. That's what comedy is. Brutal.
it
It's a
is.
brutal art form.
I have like all these anxiety issues, and I think a lot of them stem from who knows what. But every once in a while, I'll have panic attacks. And I was doing a show in Milwaukee earlier this year, or late last year, I should say. And I go out on stage. It's a nice place. It's this casino. It's a theater. Of course, it's not full, but it's an off night. But there's 100 people in there. I walk in, and they have the clock is up by the balcony, so you can see what time it is. I didn't have a wristwatch on, so I'm going to go by the time up there. And I need to do
How many minutes were you doing?
25.
25.
And so I go out, and it just hits me, man. I'm
it hits you?
I'm 5 minutes in,
The nervousness,
and that I feel a panic attack coming on.
the
And
self-awareness.
all I want to do is just get the hell out of there. And
Oh.
the set wasn't even going bad. It wasn't going bad, but I could feel like all of a sudden when I'm in these anxious or panic, I don't know if you've ever had a panic attack or anxiety problems or anything. Like for me, they physically manifest where I'm like, I just like I'm just always like trying to shake it off.
Is that what
or
you're doing on
something.
stage? You
Like
mean?
I'm just I'm moving differently. I'm moving bizarrely, and I can feel myself doing it, but it's better than running out. So I'm just as I come off stage,
Ooh.
the headliner's like, "Hey, how much did you have to drink tonight?"
Really?
Because we'd worked together enough before, but it was we worked. His name's Ian Gutowski, great guy. I love him, and he's been great to me, taking me on the road. And he's seen me perform, no less than 50 or 60 times.
Mhm.
Well, he's been in the room, whether or not he's watching. But he made that comment. So I go off stage, and I'm like, "Oh man, I must have looked terrible up there." Like for him to think that I was drunk,
Yeah.
it must have been a real
And
shit
you were sober,
show.
right? Totally
Yeah, I
sober.
was sober, and I must have been a real shit show,
Ooh.
So the guy that did the guest spot came back, and he's like, "Oh no, I thought you had a good set." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And then Ian came on stage. He's like, "No, you had a good set. I thought it was fine." I'm like, I never got clarification as to why he said that, but it was like this hour of why am I doing this? Why do I do comedy? What's the point? I can't even be on stage without losing my mind. But that for me was the hard. I bombed all the time. I bombed plenty, but that was the hardest one because it was like this anxiety was just
Your mind starts attacking itself.
yeah, it was
Your
it was killing me,
Ooh.
man. And that's also part of the reason why I'm trying to go back to the gym and work out more because they say that a big cure for that anxiety,
Oh yeah.
depression, and all that stuff is exercise.
I have like a 10-point checklist every morning to go through, so I don't jump off a bridge when I wake up
That's solid.
because of the depression. I have like 10-point checklist of things that I do. Like there's meditating, there's stretching, there's juicing, there's cardio, there's weights, there's sun, vitamin D. Eat cashews. They're good. They're strong as Prozac for
Really?
depression.
I gotta get some-
cashews.
I gotta get some cashews.
Yeah, it's like a 10-point checklist just because my mind just likes to attack itself and be sad. So,
yeah,
which is why I'm a comedian, I guess.
I think that's we find and people say it all the time. It's one of those cliches or stereotypes, but I think that comedians have this drive to be accepted and to be found entertaining by groups of people. Who
Yeah.
know why? Who knows
Mine
why?
is. I think mine is to. I'm pretty introverted, so mine is to connect with people. So it's my way of connecting with people because the rest of the time I'm spending time alone. I'm meditating. It's a way of connecting. I think my first goal in comedy when I get on stage is like to connect with people and relate more than it is to just get them laughing at something. So, and it's tough because this route is like, it's a longer route to make it where I need to be as opposed to being a one-liner comedian.
Sure.
Trying to have some reason up there, saying something, a purpose, a meaning, and be funny. So it's a longer journey to get there. Hopefully I'll make it. I mean, hopefully I'll live long. I'm already 45.
Yeah,
I
but
wish
you're
I
working
started when I
out.
was
But you're working
20.
out every day.
I am a
You're
beast.
doing cardio.
Beast. Yeah.
It'll wind up happening. You'll wind up dropping dead at 47. I'll live.
I
to
will.
91.
I will. You live to be
I'll-
like 93. That always happens, man. These guys right here. I'll get hit
These
by
guys.
or I'll
What do
get
you
hit by
mean these guys?
I'll get hit by a bus or something. Checking out my where I'm gonna run or something. Brutal.
See, when I get on stage, the first thing I want to do is I want to connect as well. I
Or
wanna-
laughter.
but I want to get the laugh. I think that for me, I find that if I can get the laugh up front, then the crowd will have confidence in me
Mhm.
and say, okay, this guy's funny, and they'll let you get away with a little bit more. Like,
Yep,
let me
Well, that's what they say to do is do your strongest bit first or second strongest bit first. I think it's connect with the crowd. If you connect with them through laughter or just connect with them through something, just them liking you by
Sure,
something,
likability,
connecting,
yeah. Well,
and then go from there.
Ron Hortman, who we were talking about earlier,
Ron
off
Man.
air, Ron Man, yep, great Tampa comp.
Ron Man.
Yeah. He watched me do a feature set one night. He said, it's great. He's like, but I think you need to flip flop the whole thing, take your whole set and turn it around, because I was closing with self-deprecating humor and opening with, this is what's wrong with America and you people. You know, and it was working, but it was okay. And I started doing that the next day. It was during a little run, and he was 100% right. And it's one of those things that's so obvious in hindsight that, yeah, well, of course, you know, get them to like you first, make fun of yourself first. You know, I was doing it flip flop because I thought my stronger material was the other stuff, but it doesn't work if they don't believe in you, if they don't like you. If you just walk up and start telling people what's wrong with them, doesn't matter how funny you are.
Yeah, that's probably not a good way to get them to connect and like you. Yeah.
Like if you show up and start doing a radio show with somebody you don't really know and they start making fun of you for being fat.
Exactly.
Just kind of like,
this guy's going to sit on me later. He's going to sit on me. I'm going to be shaped like a disc.
that I could throw you when I play disc golf.
Garbage disposal. I wrote this down. This is what happened the other day. I think I said this at that open mic, but
you did.
I did actually. This kind of bothers me. I was putting stuff down the garbage disposal. It was running, and I heard something clanking in there, like a top to a beer bottle. So I turned it off. I reached down there. I'm trying to feel for the beer bottle. I look over my right hand. My right hand's on the switch, and my left hand's down in the bottom of it. And, you know, if all it takes is one flip of that switch for a quarter second, those things spin, and all the ends of my fingers be ripped off. So I just froze. I froze, and I looked at my left hand. I looked at my right. I'm like, and I was sweating, and my brain was thinking, all right, we got to move the right. The correct hand needs to be moved here. And I said, move the left hand out of the garbage disposal. My mind goes, you didn't say Simon Says. So I end up getting my hand out of there and, you know, flipping the switch on after that. And they need to have those switches like somewhere else. It can't be right next to the sink. It should be like 6 feet away where you got to walk over and you turn it on, because a little kid could reach in there and be grabbing stuff and just do what I did.
Yeah.
Right. And if he's not that smart, he could grind his hand off and still not know what's going on and be leaning down and his whole arm's going away. And
he's getting further and further away from the switch, so he can't even
stop. Right.
It.
Then he ends up just, his whole arm has gone up to the shoulder. Then he walks out and.
Well, look, if a kid leaves his arm in that till it's up to his shoulder, he probably deserves to lose the arm.
What if he was like paralyzed?
No. Oh, well, now I'm an asshole. Now you're making him a paralyzed kid.
What if he's paralyzed and he's putting stuff in the garbage disposal?
He's trying to save grandma's heart medication.
You think you could put your wife in a garbage disposal if you tried to get rid of her one night? You could like chop her up and put her down that thing? You think that could happen? You think somebody's done that?
I would not be surprised if somebody's tried it.
Like push her down there slowly?
There's got to be somebody more. There's got to be. I don't know if it goes through bone.
Oh, yeah, it goes like chicken bone and stuff. It'll go through that.
Really?
Yeah. I bet you somebody's done that. And then it probably burned out halfway through, like burned out when they got half their body.
Then they got to call a plumber. Plumber finds a thumb.
I would get a backup. I'd go to Lowe's, get a backup, like 2 backup disposals, and just have them there. Just keep going all night long.
Just wood chipper.
Oh, the wood chipper. Yeah, some guy
wood chipper.
There.
Yeah.
There's no turning back on that one. You can't like reverse it and spit her back out. All right, hold on a second. Wow. That's when you're angry at your wife. That's more than burning the meatloaf right there.
Exactly. Just a little bit more than that.
The wood chipper.
But yeah, you make a good point, though, having the switch next to the garbage disposal that close. We don't sell booze and fireworks together in the same store.
Right.
We at least make them to where you got to take the extra step to think about what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, that almost happened to me, and that was right there, right in front of me. So it's definitely happened to somebody. It's like, come on, move the switch to the neighbor's house, or put 2 of them, put 3 of them in the house. You got to turn 3 switches on.
And I'll do it, man. I'll hit that switch. I had a, I was making, they call them tostones or patacones, which are fried plantains.
Yep, my girl makes those.
Yeah.
Honey, you make those very well. She's watching right now. Really good. Tostones.
I was baking them, and my girl asked, she's like, oh, is the oil hot enough to put them in yet? And look, this was my plan to check if the oil was hot enough.
Oh.
I just start putting my hand towards the oil. Like the old, like if you're working, like, the burner's here, let me check the burner. I'll just put my hand over it, just to see if it's hot.
What would you do? You're going to put your hand in it?
I was going to put it near it, like I was going to see if it was warm, until my girl saw me. Jen saw me, was like, what the hell is wrong? So this was 4 years ago. Yeah. And so the lights, the switch next to the next to the disposal rings true to me because
Yeah.
I'm the type of idiot that these are the sort of things I do. Like, is that oil hot? I don't know. Let me shove my hand.
Imagine that. Like
into
putting your
it.
finger in it like it's like you think it's hot water.
Well, that's
Woo!
that's how I was acting. Like, I figured I'll go close enough, and if it's warm,
And it's like
but
smoking.
yeah, it's
I think it's hot, honey. It's steaming.
yeah.
No, that would be smoking. That's my 800 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
That,
Like putting your hand in lava. Is
I
this
pull
lava?
it out. Is this normal? The flesh is just falling off my fingers.
Let me check if this molten rock is hot. Hold on, I'm gonna do a cannonball in here.
I think it's ready.
Jeez. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, we get stupid sometimes, I guess. You start. The problem is you're not in the moment. Is what it is. Got to be in the moment. Like right now,
Yeah.
in the moment. We're right here. We're on Talk, whatever this is called, Talk Wad Radio, Talk Wad Network. I'm sorry.
Let's
In the moment. You got to be where you're at.
speaking of Talkwad Radio, real life humor is proudly brought to you by Talkwad Network. Please check out other shows with the Talkwad Network at www.talkwad.com.
.com. Yeah. How about that?
Talkwad.
Look at this guy. He's trying to get a job here. Brown noser. Trying to take over my show on the first day.
Daniel,
Jeez.
there's literally only one note on the table.
I
I just wanted to make sure we hit it.
You know what's really funny about this whole thing is my name's Dave, and he keeps
Why
calling.
do I keep calling you Dave? Why do you keep letting me call you Dave?
He keeps calling me
name's not
Daniel.
Dave.
He thinks I'm Daniel Tosh. He's gonna walk on. That's not Daniel Tosh.
I'd be very disappointed.
God, that is too funny. You thought it's Daniel.
It's in my phone as Daniel, therefore you're Daniel.
You know you're really doing well in comedy, folks, when other comedians don't even know your name. This is good. I'm incognito.
this
My
is-
name. Just call me Bill.
What is happening right now as we're 40 minutes into this conversation?
You're getting my name wrong.
This is literally 35 minutes longer than any other conversation we've ever had.
Yeah, it is. When do we meet? How long? We go way back. How far?
6 days, 5 days.
That's when I saw. Yeah,
That's
at a
when I
mic.
first
But
saw
the
you.
first time we talked was about an hour ago.
Yeah. Yes.
Unreal, huh?
Yeah.
You guys think we've been together for years? The way this banter goes back and forth. I mean, look at this. It's tight.
We
Yeah,
were
we just
pulling.
met.
We were pulling it off until you pointed out that I don't even know your name.
Yeah, he called me Daniel.
I think it is Daniel. I'm gonna have to check your
That is the
website.
best. Maybe my name is Daniel. Oh my God.
But I called you that when I
Well, you
first
called me
met
that when you met
tonight.
me, and I thought he was like, all right, he's just making a joke. What's up, Daniel?
What sort of joke is that?
What's my? It's like me saying to you, hey, Bill, or something. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I thought it was like a joke. I tell you, I'm just.
All
I'm
right,
weird.
David. I got
No,
you,
not.
man.
It's just Dave. Just Dave.
Now it's just David.
David. My mom used to call me, and she was mad at me, so we just got to go with Dave. Yeah, we got 10 minutes to go. Is that what you said? 10. Real professional here, right? Is that what he said over there? 10 minutes. All right, I'll put that on my little stopwatch. Yeah, nice. Real good.
But it's-
Boy, oh boy.
At least I know it's Celestian and not Celestine. That's what I was calling you for a couple days.
Said everybody. I'm so used to that. I even say it. Yeah, just Dave. Yeah, just Dave, not Daniel. That's
calling
the
you
best.
Daniel.
Daniel. Steve. Well, it's easy for you because your name to me is Steve Miller. It's not just Steve because it's just so
Sure.
obvious. Steve Miller. I'm like,
I'm gonna check my email though because I think you called yourself Daniel, and
God, maybe I did. Maybe I said Dan at the end. All right, we'll see you later, Dan.
because you did tell me that the studio is located near Kobe Mac and Cheese.
I do have a bad memory. I'll tell you that. I have a really bad memory, and I wouldn't doubt me forgetting my own name.
It's
I've
possible.
it's a lot of beer, a lot of drugs, a lot of ecstasy. It's probably drilled way too many holes in my brain at this point.
Do you still imbibe?
I used to eat those like M&Ms. No,
I never got into the ecstasy.
I ate 15 one night. I saw God.
Oof.
I
Or
haven't
was
done
a
that.
paramedic.
I think it was a paramedic. Had
There's a
brown
paramedic.
hair.
There's a paramedic named Jesus.
His name was Daniel. Jeez. It's a callback, guys. It's not really
Daniel.
funny, but yeah, no more of that stuff. But I think I have done some damage to the psyche and to the memory
Oh yeah,
and to anything tied in with the neural network that's up here. It's
absolutely.
yeah, that's
Like-
why I need to exercise and juice every day because I gotta gain back some of this.
Like when I talk about my anxiety and those issues, I think they stem from the hallucinogen. I used to eat. See, for
Oh,
me,
what'd you do? Shrooms?
a lot of shrooms, a lot of acid,
I did
liquid
shrooms,
acid.
too.
Yeah, I love shrooms. They
So
were
do I.
better.
We should do shrooms and get on this radio station or get on the station and do a
I
show.
don't. It's gonna be a little while before I can take hallucinogens again, man.
Yeah, they're
That was,
tough.
You know.
Did you ever take too many?
Yes.
Did you? Oh,
Yes.
it's scary.
Oh,
How
yeah.
long did it take to come down?
The more like like 18, 20 hours, like going for
We
a
could
while.
talk drugs, guys, like for 3 days. We could just let this show go for
Yeah.
3 days because I could go. Well, I probably couldn't remember 3 days worth. How long did you say
like 18 hours.
of tripping on shrooms?
No. This was liquid acid,
God, how much did you take?
a handful,
Oof.
Like we went to this show.
Handful of liquid? Would you just like dip your
Yes.
hands in the 5-gallon
Yeah,
bucket?
no, it was ridiculous.
What do you mean liquid acid?
I
What
mean,
is that?
it's actual LSD. Like when you take LSD like on a tab, like you take a little blot on a piece of paper
Right.
or whatever. It's a drop.
Yeah,
They put a drop
What
on,
did you
right?
do?
A friend of mine called me up, wanted me to go to this. My background, like I like punk music, I like more aggressive music. He was a big fan of this band, Widespread Panic, this big hippie band. Let's go to the show. We're all gonna dose. We're all gonna drop, whatever. But go, and the drug guy never shows up. Not surprising. We start drinking. We go to the show, and he goes, "Hey, that's the guy with the acid, by the way, over there." I said, "Oh, cool." I figured we're all still on board. We're all on the train. We're gonna pull out now.
Yeah.
So I go and I talk to him, and he goes, "How many do you want?" I said, "I just want one." He goes, "Well, I only have liquid. I don't have anything to put her on, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you two." I said, "Okay, that's fair enough." So he goes, "Just put your hand out."
What's your?
I put my hand out. He has an eyedropper in this vial, and he just goes,
Oh,
and I could see it, a puddle in my hand.
You probably didn't need to drink it. It just goes right in your
Yeah.
skin.
Well, so I tilt it back. I'm able to drink some, and then I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I wipe it on my leg, and then realize, well, it doesn't matter anyways. It's going in, and like, all hell broke loose for me that night.
Oh.
Carrot Top came out to play with the band. I had no idea that
Carrot
he
Top?
knew the band, the comedian.
He really did.
He really did.
Oh my
I thought it was
God.
Rocky Dennis from Mask at first,
Why
but
would,
it turned out to be Carrot
why
Top.
would Carrot Top be there?
I guess he's friends with the band, but he comes out on stage, and I'm just losing it. I look
Just
at my
gone.
buddy. He goes, no, it's Carrot Top. It's really him. They're friends with the band. But it turns out nobody else took any of the acid.
Oh no, only
Because
you.
they're like, no, it was too late, man. We just, no way.
You were up for 3 days.
I was up for, I
Oh.
took it at 8 at night, and I didn't sleep that night at all. And
So did you go into the
The
dark
next
places
day?
in the brain? Any of the scary stuff going?
yeah, there was a lot of panic,
Oh.
a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the worst trip I've ever had, but like, I got in a car with this guy. They wouldn't let me go home. They all wanted to go out to Ybor after the show, and I just wanted to go home.
Crawl
They-
under the
like,
blankets.
no, you can't be alone right now, man. So we'll take you to
Gotta
Ybor.
go to a bar, Ybor, when you're
So
tripping.
so
Looks like a bunch of animals coming
Yeah.
at you there.
So I'm just sitting in these bars and just like, I can't handle it. Friends of mine are coming up to me, and I just had to be completely honest. That's all I could do is be honest. Said,
Oh yeah,
I took too much acid this evening. I can't speak with you.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
Wow,
You don't even see me. They just won't take me home.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
I did shrooms one time and drove my Lamborghini. That was my.
See, this is what I want. There's 13 minutes.
Well, no, we're
Oh.
actually down to 5.
There's 5.
Yeah.
You gave up a whole life of wealth to do comedy.
Yeah, I was worth about $1 million about 6 years ago with the real estate and everything. $1 million, and now I'm worth. Well, my Crocs are like probably 5. They got the sweatpants. They got my Ultimates paid off. That's $2,000. I'm worth like about $3,000 right now.
Solid.
All for chasing comedy.
Was it, when you say 5 years ago, people will automatically assume it was the bubble bursting?
Yeah, it was the combination of the bubble bursting and me saying, "Screw it, I'm done running this painting company. I just want to do comedy full time. Now's the perfect time because everything's falling apart." So I just walked out of my house. I left everything in it. I shut down my company, sold my company truck, bought a little car, threw everything in I could fit in there, and drove to Chicago. Did a show with Ron Man there. Drove to New York City, and that was it. Everything in my house, everything's gone. Everything I own. I had 4 houses. They're all being foreclosed. Everything's gone.
So it wasn't an incremental,
Oh no, this was just like a
No.
tidal wave.
but it was like, but it wasn't like one defining thing. It wasn't like I came home and my wife was cheating on somebody.
Oh no,
threw
no,
the
I
whole
did the
life
radio
away.
show in Sarasota, the comedy radio show. Then I went back to paint a house, this big house in Tierra Verde, and I was painting it, and I just stopped. I'm like, what am I doing? I was painting. I'm like, I'm not a painter. What am I doing? I was thinking I'm gonna move to Seattle, New York City. I got to go somewhere. And a friend of my mom's owned a condo up in Bronxville near New York City. He said I can stay there for free for a year, no utilities, nothing at all. Penthouse condo for free for a year to go pursue comedy. So
Wow.
that's how it started up there. And I did 4 years up in New York. I worked around the Northeast U.S. doing, corporate private stuff, some clubs, a little bit. And then moved back here September of last year, 4 months ago. I moved back.
What brought you back? Why'd you come back?
Just the cold weather. I lived up in the Catskills and just tired of chopping wood every day to stay warm when all you got to do is go like this, turn the knob.
You're obviously passionate about comedy.
Yeah. Oh,
to,
yeah.
To where it's your whole life.
This
You've
is
given,
this
you've
is
given
what's
everything
gonna
up.
be. It's going to be comedy, yeah. a matter of how long it's going to take, but it's going to be a comedy. Yeah.
Does it make you nervous to go from New York, where the possibility of getting quote discovered is easier than
It used to
back
be.
here?
It's not anymore. It's changed. It's changed now. It used to be go to New York or LA to get discovered, but now with the internet and just things have changed. With the internet, things have
No,
changed.
definitely the industry.
And I'm getting more work down here. Actually, I'm getting more gigs down here than I was up in the Northeast U.S. because there's less competition.
Sure.
You got the Olympics of the world in comedy in New York City, pumping all these comedians out, and they're all working up there.
Right.
Come down here, you got guys wearing tablecloth.
Look at this guy. This guy works more than you, and look at this guy.
We got 2 minutes.
We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, I guess we got to give them a little time to wipe the seats down and disinfect and things in here.
Well, after you and I have been in here.
But I think we'll do next week. We're gonna do it again. The other comedian, Dan McCourt, is gonna be down. We're doing a show at Mahuffers, the infamous Sloppy John's, next Sunday at 6:30.
Very
6:30.
nice.
So that'll be something interesting. Actual comedy, stand-up comedy show. We're sitting down right now.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're sitting.
I'll be in Cocoa Beach next Thursday and Friday.
Where you at?
I don't know. That's the problem. You go to my website, stevemiller813.com.
Yeah.
We talked about this right before we walked in. I don't know the club.
Don't
I'm
even know.
featuring.
He's
I'm
that
featuring
big.
up
He's
there.
that big. He doesn't even know anymore. He's got
That's
so many gigs.
ridiculous. That's not. I haven't bothered to find out the actual name of the club. It's this run for this woman Jackie Knight out of St. Augustine. The Saturday night show in St. Augustine is at a Gypsy Cab Company. That's a great room. That's always a lot of fun, and I'm sure her other two shows will be great too. But go to stevemiller813.com. That's my website.
My name is Daniel, DaveCelestian.com.
It is Dave, isn't it?
Dave. Yeah, it's Dave Celestian, not Daniel.
That is your name. You do know your name.
It is. It's Dave. I've been saying it over and over now. I've tattooed it on my wrist. Here it is.
What is that on your wrist?
This is, I got this in Thailand over in Bangkok. This one here is a microwave oven, and this is chest of drawers.
Perfect.
No, actually, this is love, which is pronounced rak, and otun, which is patience. Something we all need in this world, a little love and patience. We're going to be back next week. Might bring this guy back, and I don't know. You run next Sunday?
I'm not, because I'm in St. Augustine.
So it'll just be me and Dan. Actually, Dan, a real Dan.
No, you look at that.
Not the Daniel you think. My name's Dave Celestian. We got Steve Miller, and we appreciate you guys listening to Real Life Humor. We'll see you next week at 9 p.m. And have a good night, guys.
I miss you already.
What was that? I'll tell you what that was. That was another fine show from ComedySlamRadio.com, where we put the .com in comedy.